Hi dearest, how are you doing? If you have never made a hat before, don't worry, we're going to solve it today. I'm going to be taking you on a step-by-step process on how I made this red hat. So we're going to start from molding it and then we will design it. So sit back and let's begin by seeing the materials first of all that we'll be using to mold the hat. You need to cover your work base, and that's what I did with a nylon, and this is the pad or wording. That's my hat block. And now this is how I cut out my pad. I measured the hat block. Now see how you measure the hat block. Can you see that I'm making the depressions like that? And I got 10.5 inches. So I'm going to add 2 inches extra, and that gives me 12.5. So this was cut 12.5 by 12.5. Okay. So the next item we'll be needing, of course, is the measurement tape, which we just used to measure, that you have seen. Then your water. You need your top bond. That's what I like to use when I'm molding with pad. I think it's less expensive. Then your scissors, your nylon bag, or you can use a clear film. Then bias, you get to see where we made use of that. Then your thumb tacks, an oil-based cream, cutter and bowl. So the first thing you want to do is to protect your hat block, and that's to cover it up with nylon so that the wood is not destroyed with water. Okay? Next step is to cream the covered hat block. Now you're going to be doing it both on top and underneath, a little line underneath, so that your mold will easily come out of the hat block once it's dry. Okay, next is to prepare our top bond so that we can stiffen our pad. So what you're going to do is to mix it up. That's what I do. Some people just use the slapping method, but I mix it up with a little water, and you keep mixing it till it melts well. Okay, so that's it. So I take my pad or wording, and this is how I stiffen my pad or wording. I soak it like that, turn it, and ensure that every part is touched. Okay, keep watching and learning. Next thing you do is to place your pad on your covered hat block. Now when you're putting it, you ensure that both the top and the bottom and the left and the right have the equal spacing. Okay, so now this is where we're going to make use of our bias. You know the bend that is there, this step here. So you're going to be putting your bias now and putting your thumb tack down to hold it down so that you would have that depression. Now while you put the thumb tag there, it's 1 so that it doesn't pierce a big hole, 2 is so that it doesn't rust. But I warn you, if you leave it out for too long in the sun, it will rust. And I made that mistake. I didn't remember to take it off. What you do is once you put it out, you give it like 4 hours thereabouts, and you take off the pins. It would have already depressed and given it that impression. So keep watching and learning. Once that's done, the next thing you do is to turn it upside down, and we're going to do north, south, east and west. If you are a previous subscriber, you already know this step. Okay, so this is what we do to ensure that our mold comes out smooth on the edges. So you have to put your thumb tag first of all, north, south, east and west. So what you do next is to grab in between the two of the thumb tags you've put. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see how I'm dragging it like so? You drag it like that, and then you place your thumb tags all around. So that's what you're going to be doing in between all the 2 thumb tags you have placed. Keep watching and learning. out. It's so smooth around the edge. Okay, so I've put it out in the sun, but I forgot to. As I told you, this I should have left for 4 hours, so you see a little rust on it. Now I take it off. It has not fully dried yet. It's pad takes quite some time to dry depending on the sun, and we're in raining season, so it'll probably take like 4 to 5 days. So I'm taking it off now, then I'll put it back under the sun to keep on drying. After it has dried, this is how you take it off the mold. I don't have the exact video for that particular mold, but it's the same process, so learn it from this one. Already dry, and now we're taking out the paint. You take out the paint. What I'm going to do is to cut out some excess from the mold. I haven't removed it yet, but this is going to enable me to remove it. Then I'll put my hand through and I'll start using my fingernails to bring it out like so all the way around. After a while it becomes easy and you can drag it out. Now you have your electric glue gun with the candle gum already attached to it. Then this is the elastic band. This one has this gold trimmings. You see how we work with that. Then this is our molded hat. You notice behind this one it has a black bridal satin behind, so this is how you actually do it if you're putting a material under. Follow this process and you're done. I would actually advise you put a material underneath before you put your pad. What I'm going to do is take my bridal satin and I'm going to dip it into the mixture and I'm going to squeeze it like so, bring out all the juice from it. Alright, so once the juice has gone out, the next thing you need to do is to open it up like so, and you know you're going to be checking. Since the bridal satin, you have the smooth part, that's the shining part is smooth. The smooth part is the part you're going to make to be on the face of your mold or hat block. Do you understand? Because that's the part you would see when you're going to wear it. The other part will be the part that will touch the mold. So it's the smooth part that faces the mold. So that's what I'm doing now, and then I take my padded wording interfacing or thick foam and I dip it into the mixture. Ensure that it touches every area. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So once I'm done with that, the next thing I squeeze out the juice also, but this time around not as much as the bridal satin. Some juice will still be left. All right, then I take it and I put it on top of the bridal satin. That's a flower, then needle and matching thread. Then this is a shiny poly material. Then this is our uhu gum, bias. That's the scissors. That's measurement tape, flower trimmings, white flower trimmings, and B6000. Okay, so we have our molded pad there. And this is our elastic band, so you're going to use your hand and pull it out like so. If you're unable to, you can use the scissors and just cut it like so. Okay, so that's our elastic band, and I'm going to cut out 2 inches. I finally made it 3 inches because it's for a child, not for an adult, so best make it 3 inches. Okay, so that's it. I'm just checking the elastic limit. Okay then, so now the next thing you do is to get the hat, and can you see where the curve is right there? That's where I'm going to be sewing it, on that inner, like as if you have a crown and a base, on that part that joins the two. That's where I'm going to be sewing the elastic band. Now you sew it there so that it laps well on the head. You're not seeing it jumping out at the side. It just laps and goes round the back of the child's head. And this is the way you sew it. Since our pad molded hat hasn't been covered with material, you can actually just sew it anyhow. It won't appear above because you're going to cover it with material. But if your material is light, you might want to make sure that you sew it close on the top part. You take the thread close to the thread that just came out back in, so that it's not visible on the molded hat. So keep watching and learning. So we're going to be doing this on the two sides, yeah, but I'll show you just one because you're smart. Okay, so that done. The next thing we're going to do is to cover it with our pulley. So we're going to measure the material we need, and this is the way you take it because of the contour, so you don't get it less than the material you need. And what we measured is 13 inches, so that material is actually 13 by 13. Now, because of this contour that we can see the two layers, what I'm going to do first of all is put uhu gum around the separation there, and that's so that I will ensure my material gets that dent. Do you understand? It got that dent. Then I use needle to get the midpoint, so I just gauge the midpoint of the hat like that, spread it and start pushing it like that. Can you see how I'm dragging it down like that, all the corners, so it gets that carving. Now I left the gum a little bit to dry off, a little, before I started pressing it down so it doesn't stain the material. Now to do the edges, I put my uhu gum down just below the pad, the molded pad there. I do it all the way around, and then as usual, if you have watched the previous video on how to mold with pad, you will know what we do next is north, south, east and west. After you do that, before you start grabbing the material like so, and that's to ensure your material is neat, as it's smooth around your base. In this case, our red kid's hat or kid's red hat. Okay, keep watching and learning. Okay, another break in transmission. Now here are currently the trainings that are available in the Vendcraft Academy. You want to jump in and get learning, just check the description below. You would see the reception. Enter the reception and get to know about all this lovely training. Okay, back to learn how to make the kid's red heart. Okay, it's time to trim out the edges with our scissors. You can make use of razor at this point in time. Whatever works well for you, you use, and trim it all the way round. Once that's done, it's looking neat. We're going to use bias now with our electric glue gun, and we're going to glue it all the way around. You can make use of uhu gum at this point, but I prefer to use the candle glue gun because it sticks immediately. Keep watching and learning. Okay, we're done with that. Now the next thing is to put the flower trimmings on the red kid's hat, kid's red hat. Okay, all right, so that's the flower trimmings. I was thinking about using B6000 and I changed my mind. Do you know why? Because B6000 won't glue immediately, and by the time I try to move it and bend it, it would shift. So the best at this point is to use uhu gum. So now I'm cutting out some trimmings, and I started gluing it all the way around, and I noticed it won't bend the way I wanted, do you understand, smoothly. So I decided to start chopping it in patterns and then gluing it round. Just keep watching, you see what I did. Keep watching and learn. Okay, so you see it's getting that fold there, so I'm going to trim it there and then cut out a similar pattern and put. So if you're gaining value from the video of today, please do give me a thumbs up. Yes, click that thumbs up button below this video and let me know you like this training, you are gaining value. Thank you. So keep watching and learning. If you have any question concerning this particular video, the training that you didn't understand, please do feel free to write the question in the comment section of this video. Okay, so see how it's looking. Oh, this kid's red hat is lovely. So now I cut out some leaves and just attach that small opening over there to prepare to put the flower on top. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little pattern at the back. You know where I have the sewing of the elastic band to the kid's red hat. I'm going to just do some design so that it covers it up and still looks lovely and nice. Keep watching and learn. Okay, so I plan to put only one flower, but you can see the reason of always testing your heart on a dummy. If you don't have any dummy, man, take anybody around. You can place the heart or fascinator on top. In this case, my red kid's hat was put on top of a mannequin head, and I noticed that one flower didn't do it, so now I'm sticking 2 flowers, and that's it. Our red kid's hat is ready to be worn. In fact, after doing it, I was like, man, this looks like Christmas or Valentine's season. Anyway, you can do it in any color and it becomes for any season. Thanks for staying tuned to my channel. Don't forget to click that subscribe button here. Click the subscribe button so you don't miss any other tutorials from this great channel of mine, The Vent Craft. Okay, till we meet again in my next video, stay blessed.